The American campaign begins with Private Martin, a member of 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, training at Camp Tolka in USA State, Georgia, on August 9, 1942. Then we fast forward to 5th June 1944, the beginning of the invasion of Normandy. Private Martin is a pathfinder that will be dropped ahead of the rest and will be responsible for finding and marking the landing zones. Martin leads outside the town of Sainte Marie-Élise and tries to meet with Sergeant Heath, but he wasn't lucky enough to survive the landing. Martin is on his own, but he sets the beacons as planned. As the airborne begins, chaos takes over. Bullets and grenades are flying all over, and in the middle of the night, it's hard to even recognize who is your friend and who is the enemy. Various units are mixing, but US soldiers move forward to the village of Sainte Marie-Élise. Martin helps to plant the explosive on the German anti-craft tanks, and that is the turning point of the battle. But there's no time to celebrate, as soldiers have to prepare for the German counterattack and hold the village to cut off enemy from the highway at any cost. Nazis begin to heavy attack the Sainte Marie-Élise village. Americans are barely holding on against the mortar fire tanks and German infantry. They are lucky to capture some Panzerfaust last night while taking over the place. Now, they are outnumbered and pushed back to the ruins of the church, where they fight like crazy to survive. Martin grabs the Panzerfaust and destroys 2 tanks, and that opens a chance to get rid of the mortars and back off the German offensive on the village. But Baker Company took heavy losses and Captain Foley needs reinforcements. The radio communication is down, so Martin, Elder and Sergeant Mood must drag their way to Sainte-Marie-de-Mont and pass the message to headquarters. The road is filled with enemies, but the trio drives like crazy until they are cornered and damaged by a tank. They have to run for their lives through the nearby houses, but they are lucky enough to find a German Kugelwagen parked in one of them. Everything is a mess in there. All of the companies suffered due to misdrops, and there won't be much help for Captain Foley. But Martin and his companions receive orders to go behind enemy lines without any support and sabotage German artillery. This is a suicide mission where a few must face a few dozens. But somehow they made it through the German trenches, destroyed the artillery and captured very important maps. Due to the outstanding performance, Martin unit is detached from the 101st Airborne Division for special missions behind enemy lines. And boy, they are going deep behind, as their first task is to rescue British officers captured and held in Bavarian Alps. Martin and the boys break through the gates of the chateau, and they are not taking any prisoners inside. They find documents and plans and discover a sacred room, where they sabotage the communication system and go through the basements to find Captain Price, one of the British officers they came to rescue. Price informs Captain Foley that Major Ingham was relocated to the prisoners' camp, but he managed to overhear the location. Foley decides to rush into the camp and take Jerry's by surprise. A few minutes and a few dozens of bullets later, Ingham is free and safe, while Nazis are still trying to figure out what just happened. From this point, the British part of the campaign starts. British boys are responsible for securing east flank of the invasion. Just after midnight 6 June 1944, the 2nd Oxford and Bucks unit is dropped from Horsa gliders alongside the Caen Canal near Pegasus Bridge. Under the shadow of the night, British forces strike quick and don't give enemies time to blow up the bridge. Then Sergeant Evans uses flank guns to destroy German tanks, trying to regain the bridge. Noon of the same day, the unit protects the bridge from German counterattack, which includes several tanks. They hold the bridge until reinforcements from the 7th Parachute Battalion arrive. During Operation Hasties, the previous May, the 617th Squadron RFA destroyed the dam using bouncing bombs. However, the Germans had rebuilt it. The British Special Operations Executive ordered to destroy it again, to hinder German production in the Ruhr Valley. Evans infiltrates the dam, destroying all the anti-craft guns. He also destroys the electrical generators in case the dam is not destroyed by the bombs. After the job is done, he escapes on a German truck stolen by Captain Price and Sergeant Waters. While trying to reach an airfield, They are being chased by German motorized patrols, but manage to break through. When they arrive at the airfield, Evans shoots down several Stuka bombers, and when the air is clear, they escape with a stolen FW-200 Condor. On the 27th of October, the trio infiltrates the German battleship Tirpitz near Tromsø, Norway. Evans and Price brought the ship in disguise using fake papers. They are looking for documents, indication the German fleet movements. Everything goes smooth until a young officer gets a little suspicious when Captain Price is trying to get into one of the control rooms. Price opens fire, and they get compromised. Evans plants explosives, retrieves the ship's patrol logs and documents indicating the fleet movements, and makes it back to the boat. However, he is informed that Captain Price has been killed in action.
We lost the captain. Damn, that was a very fine man.
Soviet campaign starts on 18 September 1942. Nazis are taking over Russia. Stalin orders to defend Stalingrad at all cost. Private Alexei Ivanovich Voronin is on one of many barges transporting Soviet soldiers across the Volga River.
Comrades, this day will be the proudest day you have ever lived. You will fight the fascist Nazi invaders with all your strength. For each and every fallen Soviet soldier, you will make them pay with 10 of them.
They're coming back!
No retreat! Kill them! Kill the deserters!
Alexei's boat is destroyed right after it reaches the land. Alexei is the only one who survived. Soviets lack weapons, so soldiers are put into pairs, and only one of them receives a rifle. The other is left only with the ammo and is supposed to take cover until he finds a weapon somewhere on the battlefield. The city is ruined. Bullets, bombs and grenades are flying all over the place. Death is everywhere. Alexei loses his rifleman and meets a sniper named Borodin. He is used as a distract to spot enemy positions and has no choice but to run under enemy fire with bare hands. It looks like he was running from the battlefield, so one of the commissioners that guards Soviet troops from retreating tries to kill him, but Borodin shoots him instead. They take the safe spot and wait for the artillery support. Red Square is filled with German machine guns, but Soviet soldiers have no choice as commissioners are forcing them to push forward and kill everyone who tries to escape from the battlefield. Alexei Ivanovich, with the help of Sergeant Makarov, find a way through the buildings and flank Germans to prevent officers from calling from reinforcements and take over the Red Square. Then Alexei runs through the city to tell good news to Major Zubov. He finds a sniper rifle on the way. And when he reaches the headquarters, Zubov promotes him to junior sergeant and gives him a one-man mission to help the team of soldiers that were sent to recapture a strategic building from enemy's hands. Fights on the surface are so heavy that Alexei takes a road through the Severs. Once he reaches the place, Voronin helps Sergeant Pavlov and his men capture and defend an apartment building. Private Kovalenko is used as a bait for German snipers, and his life is in his legs and Alexei's sniper skills. Enemy is shooting from various spots, but that's the only way to spot snipers hidden in the windows. Then the artillery starts to bomb the area, and it's every man for himself. Bombs are dropping everywhere, machine guns are cutting the horizon and grenades are flying all over the square. Pavlov orders Alexei to use the anti-tank rifles they found in the building and hold the place at any cost. Alexei was one of the 260 survivors from his division that had 10,000 troops. 6 months later, at the beginning of 1945, Voronin is promoted to sergeant and sent to Warsaw, where Red Army is pushing Nazis back and taking the city from their hands. The raid on Berlin is going all the way now, and Soviets want to be the first there. While the Soviets progress through the border on the river Oder, tank crews are needed, as Stalin is lacking specialists in his army. Many tank crews have only 3 out of 5 needed men. Colonel Andropov is ordered to transfer infantrymen to tanks if needed. Alexei is assigned to be commander spotter on T-34 85 unit. Even without experience, the Red Army is outnumbering the enemy and pushing them to retreat, being now only 70 kilometers away from Reichstag. For Private Martin, the last acts of war take place in the northeast of Bastogne in Belgium. His unit is destroying German artillery and capturing documents of resupply schedule for V2 mobile units. Sergeant Evans' unit is near Burgsteinfurt, Germany, on 2nd February 1945. The unit is sent to destroy some mobile V2 rockets. Sergeant Voronin is in Berlin. Germans had nothing to lose and fight ruthlessly, but Alexei and his comrades had come a long way to get here, and now, in the final hours, they won't step back. For Mother Russia, for all those lying under Stalingrad, for all those lost in Normandy, Ardennes, Kursk, and all the other battles and missions that the world had to fight to stop this madness. It's time to end this, once for all.